Back at the beginning of the Canon View class, we showed you that the class implements the interface SurfaceHolder.Callback. Here at lines 459, 466, and 478 are the three methods of the SurfaceHolder.Callback interface that we must now implement in our Canon View class. Now, the surface changed method will be called whenever the surface view changes. For example, if we rotate the device and the width and height of the surface view change, then the surface changed method would get called. Now remember, in this app we're maintaining the app in portrait mode at all times, so we don't really need to take advantage of the surface changed method as you might in a game where you really do support rotation of the device. Now, separately, surface created is where we chose to create the initial Canon thread to start the first game as you load up the app. So right as you load the app, it goes immediately into playing the first game. And the way it does that is first it checks to see if there's no dialogue displayed, because we don't want to start a game if there's still a game over dialogue on the screen. And the reason for that is the reset button on the game over dialogue will start a new game anyway. So as long as there's no dialogue displayed, we will create a new Canon thread, giving it the surface holder object as an argument so that it can use that, for example, to obtain the canvas for drawing on the surface view. We then say to the Canon thread set running true, which sets a Boolean variable in our Canon thread class that indicates that the thread should be running right now, and then we start the thread's execution. And then finally, we have our surface destroyed method, and basically this will get called when the surface view is being destroyed, which of course would happen when the activity itself is being destroyed. And when that happens, we're going to basically wait for the Canon thread to finish executing, then we will allow this method to terminate. So you can see that we're using a little threading technique here. We have a Boolean called retry, which is set to true. We tell the Canon thread to stop running, and then we sit in a loop using that Boolean retry variable basically to make sure that the thread terminates properly before we let the surface get destroyed. Otherwise, the thread might try to draw onto a surface that doesn't exist anymore. So as long as retry is true, we join the Canon thread, which says wait for that thread to finish, and then when that method terminates, retry will be set to false, at which point this loop will terminate and the surface destroyed method will finish executing. So basically what this loop is doing is just making sure that the thread terminates before surface destroyed finishes, so that we can ensure that the thread will not draw onto a surface that no longer exists on the screen.